as I cannot commentate over the Chinese guys. So welcome to WTL versus the world. These are best of 2 matches that will take place overall in the best of 9. So it's a World Team League players versus the world players. So Trap versus Reynor, Rogue versus HeroMarine, Time versus ShoWTimE, and Maru versus Serral. We will have all the maps played. If it's 4-4 at the end of those matches, we will go to a best of 1 ace match. That is the plan. This isn't 2,000 atmospheres. This is Blackburn, so a little bit of a difference compared to what we were expecting here as we get this set up and rolling. So just a quick explanation as well is that this is casted from the Chinese feed, and because of that, it's not a clean feed. It's from the straight Chinese feed. This is the best we could do. Originally, we did not have permission to cast. Then we were going to have to restream a restream. Now we have a direct feed from China. Just it's not clean. It's still just the casting feed that they're putting out. The good news means that it's higher quality than we were expecting to have. The bad news is we still don't have game sounds, etc. So the music is just my own music in the background, and we're just going to have to cast without game sounds today. So, yeah. In we go as we get going into this matchup. It's so weird casting without game sounds, guys. I'm sorry, I'm already thrown off by not hearing the Nexus sound warp, and it's like, okay, I don't know what that was. That was not a Nexus warping, that was my best attempt of one, though. So yeah, we start off with Reynor versus Trap. 2 maps to be played here between the 2 of them as part of this best of 9. And we just have the hatch gas and pool coming up. So pretty standard across the board in the early few moments here. Nothing really too wild in these early stages. The drone going to get to mining on that 3rd base. Obviously, Trap blocked the natural to force that 3rd base location to come on through. And Reynor will, in due course, take his natural once again as well. Blackburn as a map. Actually intrigued to see what sort of style Trap is going to play. It's not really great for like Adepts or so. I think Stargate, he's going to go Stargate anyway. So I was going to say, I don't think it's amazing for Adepts. I don't think it's terrible for them. But it's not like, oh my god, like, let's play Adepts for sure. I don't mind the Stargate. We'll see what kind of happens following up from the Stargate here. As we get this up and rolling. A couple Lings just going to hang out over on the left-hand side, and just going to be seeing our Ling speed coming on through as the first Queen comes up as well. Stargate on the way in, and just going to be seeing that first Adept shading across the map through the natural expansion and toward the main base. It's going to get into a fight with this Queen. That's the Queen attacking the Adept, just in case you guys are missing the game sounds. Oh, Lings nibbling, nibble, nibble, nibble. Yeah, that's right. Scare this Adept away with your scary faces, Zerglings. Nicely done. Chasing this out of there. As we do have an Oracle on the way up. Adept is building. And just getting this set up and rolling. Well, Void Ray is on the way here from Trap, so 1 Oracle into a Void Ray. We'll see if he does go back to any Oracles after, if he really is just going to double down on that Void Ray production. We've obviously seen PvZ meta shifting a fair amount as of late. He's been, it really has been moving from, kind of purely Void Rays to some different styles, and that's going to be a Twilight Council, so not going to be any sort of continuation on the Stargate. We'll just be straight to the Twilight. That should mean we see a delayed Glaives here. So yeah, expecting to see the delayed Glaives. Oh yeah, guys, we do have a Void Ray sound recorded, so we can in fact... Oh, the Void Ray killed the Overlord off screen, though. Okay, yes, we do have the Void Ray sound pre-recorded, so if you guys are excited for the Void Ray, we do have Void Ray sounds. That's pretty much the one thing we've got, so we'll have that whenever the Void Ray gets into fighting in a few moments. For now, the Oracle coming back in and looking for a little bit more damage. Looking to try and chase some workers away from that natural expansion just before the mineral line is set up with the Spore Crawler. There's the Glaives coming through. Some Adepts already threatening. They're not going to commit. You don't want to lose these Adepts now when Glaives is finishing in the near future, right? That would just be disastrous. That's just asking for trouble, basically. So you got to be somewhat careful about that. As a few drones going down, more Adepts warping in. Reynor is prepping, getting the Roach Roaring on the way down right now. So getting that Roach Roaring up and running here, getting that underway. That's going to be a pretty big deal, of course. Get those roaches out to help you with these Adepts. We do start +1 air weapons. Not sure if there's really a plan to go air unit behind this, or if that's a potential fake out to try and trick Reynor a little bit as to what is going on. So it is possible it's just to try and, make Reynor scout something incorrect, but You've got to have something on the back of these Adepts, and going into more Stargate units is absolutely one of those possibilities. And there's the second Stargate coming down, so we will start to see that now. So just going to be seeing the Queens coming across. Making their way over, and just going to be having the extra few units warping in here. Batteries coming up and online, the Adepts still coming out through. Roaches, Ravages, pressing on forward, and you're just going to be seeing these Adepts already being chipped away at. As going to be seeing both these Ravages get taken down pretty much immediately, so units already falling. Adepts get chased away. It's a straight-up Queen walk from Reynor. He wants to get across. I mean, that's a very fast set of Queens across the map, considering the Adepts were just now attacking. It's going to mean that if you can get units across here as well, there's not going to be a lot over here. There's going to be some Adepts. Oh, what a Stasis Ward. Great catch on this group of units. Going to catch a whole bundle of stuff. Now, Fueling's trying to get a battery, but battery will heal battery. A few Roaches still defending back at home at the moment, so that will continue. As we just continue forwards here, more and more Adepts warping in as Reynor needs to get everything he can across the map to try and win this here and now, if that's going to be his plan. You can see with the picture-in-picture, Adepts are moving into that main mineral line as well, so in they go. The batteries on the third starting to go down, trying to keep those Lings away from the Adepts so that they have a chance to deal as much damage as possible. Queens, Roaches, Ravages, if they can get on those Adepts, then brilliant. 12 drones dead, by the way. The Adepts have been going to town, but they are more or less dealt with. There's a few still in the natural expansion, actually, but killing a Queen rather than going for more drones. Finally back onto more drones now. 16 drones dead to 8 probes. Well, Reynor will kill the third base, but can he bust up into the natural? Because if he can't bust into the natural, this is still likely to be problematic. Adept shading out and just going to be seeing this group of units will hang back for the moment. And we will take a little few seconds to settle ourselves back down into this game with not both sides of the map being under attack. We actually still have a lot of Adepts, and they could be used aggressively. Usually the earlier you use Adepts in this matchup, the better it's going to be. Later in the game, you're just not going to keep on building them. Obviously right now he built them as they're the best form of his defense. So if you can turn them into something offensive right now, that would be obviously brilliant. Reynor has re-drones, so he's going to take a worker lead once again in this game. Obviously noticing that he wasn't going to win the game off the back of this attack, just deny a third base. So knowing that he was able to deny the third base, he's like, okay, right, let's get our drones going, let's get the economy up, and this can turn into a fairly normal game from here. Obviously the Void Ray count's been growing, and those first Void Rays showing up. Let's see what the Queens are looking like and where they are to try and defend. As Lings deal with Adepts in the natural, 5 more drones down. Only 1 Queen in the main base, and I don't think that's going to do it here. As we try and run back towards the Spore, that gets killed off here also. And these Void Rays at the moment are going to be able to do a very good job of continuing to clean up. 8 workers going down, 10 workers going down. I guess Adepts are still going to town somewhere. We are going to kill the Baneling Nest as well, so Reynor going to be kept on just Roach Ling at the moment. So being kept on lower tech, that means you can't get your Bane speed as quickly. I think that's the big thing. While obviously Banelings themselves, while the Baneling Nest itself builds pretty quick, the biggest thing to me by losing that Bane Nest is that suddenly you just don't have Bane speed for that extra time. And that just means that you're going to have, if you do build Banelings, just a much worse time for quite a while. Reynor has got more and more Void Rays on the way to deal with here. So we'll see if he can do so, as we do see the Roach Ravagers already coming through, pushing those Adepts out of there. Adepts actually shade through the bottom side of the map and getting across the left side. The Roaches continue to chase these down. Adepts taking a good amount of damage. Now they couldn't get chased right into this corner. I mean, Trap is really trying to just get them as far away as possible. Trying to buy time for the shade. I mean, losing these, it does kind of take away the presence that you've had on the map. So taking that away is obviously really nice from Reynor's point of view. He's able to say, right, we're cool. That's, obviously really good news. Gets into a little bit more of a comfortable spot for a bit, and he gets ready to actually focus on attacking once again, which I think should have been the obvious option when we saw that he was not really interested in rebuilding the Bane Nest or anything. So he is just going to go all out for this across the map and just try and make this play right here and right now. Oh, Disrupt on the run. Why would we look away there? I do believe that got killed and did not go off. So that Disruptor shot does not connect, I believe, as we do see, obviously, the Void Rays. Well, a lot of the batteries on this base are very close to the Roach Ravagers, so they should be able to kill those batteries really quickly. The Void Rays are activated, so they can kill the Roaches very quick, but we do have units breaking through into the natural, and it looks as though Trap is just not able to recover with enough units. Now that he lost all those adepts, his supply really struggles, and it just looks like this is going to be way too much. Unless the Void Rays can overwhelm, but the time it's going to take you to overwhelm with those Void Rays, I actually think this game's already going to be done by that point, right? I don't think the game actually lasts that long anyway, so yeah, I do believe this is probably going to be our first game of the day, going to Team World. Reynor looking to pick up the first map here against Trap. These few Void Rays still taking damage. I'm just going to see, well, the third Nexus does go down, so that gets picked off. Yeah, I mean, not really much else to add on, my friends. I feel like we kind of have seen this fight happen. I mean, let's see if these Disruptors can do anything. They actually do get a chunk of Queens, and that might allow the Void Rays to survive for a while. But the problem is, even if the Void Rays, like I say, clean up all the Queens, this Roach Ravager Force is going to do so much in the meantime, and Reynor's already building an infestation pit. He's already getting stuff up that can allow him to transition in the end. He actually isn't going to continue through to try and kill this Nexus. He was already pulling back units there. I do find that part a little bit surprising. But yeah, I mean, okay, Disruptor Shot's going to land again. This Roach Ravager Force is taking a beatdown, man. He does get a pylon and a battery, and Trap is going to GG out. And Reynor, just leans into the camera, gets as blurry as possible. He is able to take the first map of this best of 9. Team World will start up a map, and Team WTL will have to, well, hope that Trap can take a map number 2. Otherwise, they're going to be starting down 0-2. As this game, I think this next map will become Trap's map pick. So that is the good news here. Probably have Trap's map pick in the very near future. Gives you your bases quite easily, quite comfortably, I'd imagine. Let's get ready for this map number 2. Reynor took the first game. Let's see if Trap can fight back for Team WTL. As here we are in the top right-hand corner. Like I say, 1-0 lead for Reynor. He is the red Zerg player. We'll just do the Reynor, woohoo! And in the bottom left-hand side, there we go. We do have the blue Protoss. It is going to be Trap, of course, representing the Freaks in the WTL. Obviously, kind of interesting to talk about Reynor. Rumors that Clash will participate in the WTL next season, as long as they do pick up additional players to have the right amount of players on their roster. So maybe next year, Reynor would be part of Team WTL. Be fun to see if he can bring Clash to greatness in the WTL. Be interesting to see who the hell Clash would try and pick up to participate in that, though, because, I mean, there's not a lot of free agents, right? There are not a lot of free agents out there right now that you can just pick up and be like, oh yeah, here we go, boom. Here's a roster that can be competitive in the best team league in the world, right? It's going to be seeing our hatch, gas, and pool all setting up. Nexus goes down from Trap over on the natural. So just getting that ready. And just going to be seeing how this sets up. Why not best of 3? Because a best of 3 doesn't work with the format. You can't play a best of 9 made up of best of 3s. Then you just have less players playing. The whole point, guys, is a best of 2 that builds into an overall best of 9. So you get 2 maps of Reynor Trap, 2 maps of Rogue HeroMarine, 2 maps of Trap ShoWTimE. Oh, sorry, of Time ShoWTimE. And then 2 maps of Maru Serral. And then an ace game if needed. Best of 3 doesn't really work in that format because then, I mean, like, it just doesn't work. I can't really explain that any better. Like, this is actually a format that works very well. It's actually a very cool new way of doing kind of team matches that the WTL developed and has been doing for a couple years now. It's really cool. Twilight Council coming up here initially. Probe just patrolling, so already just Twilight is a straight up opening at this point in time. Not your everyday expectations, of course, given the tendency to see just so much Stargate play still. So that's one thing I'll kind of mention, but I mean it's not like I say, it's not the craziest thing out there that we're seeing this, but yeah, I guess we'll see what exactly it's going to be. Robo starts up. Are we just going to go Glaive's Trap? I think so, right? I would imagine so. I mean, the other option would be to go Dark Shrine. If you go in Dark Shrine, that really is like a real throw over build. I don't want to say throw over build, like, that's not the term I want to use, but like, it's real, like, throw back over build. There we go. It's like it's really out there. Just go like a DT drop opening nowadays. It's very different, very unique. A very different approach as a couple of extra gates come through, going up to that traditional 4 gateways for this Glaive Adept attack. And Reynor's preparations, well, Roach Run is already starting, so that's going to be in plenty of time to get Roaches out to help deal with this. So, doing that part of this correctly already, and waiting for some other parts to come on through. Lord scouts in, going to go over this Resonating Glaives, and he just gets to see pretty much everything. So Reynor is fully in the know. I mean, you get a scout like this, he even sees a Warp Prism popping as well, so he's able to know about that right away. And we're just going to see a couple of Adepts still moving around, just looking for some openings here. As apparently Ellie thought, you know what, there's no sound effects today. How about I add some sound effects? So sorry if you get a bit of Ellie squeaking in the background, my friends. We're just, she's just trying to help, you know. She's just trying to, like, this is the noise Adepts make. Squeak! Squeak! It's just the sound of the glaives firing. They just need to oil up their glaive shooters a little bit. Well, the devs try to threaten through, but Reynor's preparation is good, so I don't think there's really an opening there to do much. We will go into an Immortal pretty much straight away here. So continuing on with that, also going to be a factor. As these Adepts are threatening another Shade, and just getting this, continuing to move along, and getting set up. 3 drones go in. Sorry, Ellie's distracting me with the toy. 3 drones, 4 drones go down. Oh no, Ellie, why do you have to pick the squeakiest of toys? No, not right now. Get any other toy. Observer here following these queens which are moving forward to try and just catch the prism. Obviously, the further forward you move, the more, more likely the odds to come to the Adepts just getting by you and getting some damage done. Now the prism's going to make a move toward the main base. So that prism gets to move on over there. Let's see how this turns out, as we have Lings actually catching a few Adepts. That's a nice catch, obviously. Any Adepts you clean out will be a little bit easier for you to play with from now on out. Third Nexus is on the way up. He built 2 Immortals behind this as well, so he's got a lot of Immortals set up at home. Reynor will get that scout now, so he will see the Immortals, and he will also see the 3rd base, right? And he should be able to just get that 3rd base. I mean, there's nothing on it just yet. At the very least, he would be able to force some units to move over in that kind of a direction. 6 drones going down. There are the Lings just jumping on this base. I mean, Reynor is taking some eco damage. Can he get this cancel? I do think he has it, and he is going to get a kill, no cancel. So that's going to be a big deal, of course, losing that. But there's still Adepts in his base as well. 11 drones now going down, so that's obviously combined with the units we saw dying previously. 12 drones dead, and that's giving Trap chances here for this Immortal attack to be successful. It definitely gives you options. There's definitely some potential right now. It's just going to be having the units starting to move across to the other side of the map. So making their move, making their play. Steps and Immortals just setting up Stalker as well. Just going to knock our way through this set of rocks. So taking that down and, as I may say, just opening up the map to get across the other side. Do you have the Adepts there? The Immortals continuing across to the top, so away they go. Just going to start moving up this ramp as well, and just going to start fighting here. Just going to see these Adepts shading through, and just going to try and threaten a little bit. Queens continuing on to these Adepts as well, and just going to be having overall, I think, a bit of a cleanup right now. Trap is not going to be able to continue through. He doesn't have that 3rd base set up just yet either, so going into a follow-up to this is going to be a little bit tough as well. That 3rd base just later than he wanted it to be, and Reynor's actually starting to move across the map, so Reynor has aggressive intentions right now. He believes he can come across the map and really make something of this, so let's see if that's going to be true. Let's see if that is the case. So I'll bring this across the other side. Well, There's going to be seeing a couple of probes going down. Everything collecting together here. Reynor still just massing up units. Is not going to stop with that just yet. And here he goes. There's a fight's going to break out. 172 army supply. A lot of this army supply from Trap is going to be in a depth, so it's not going to be in the kind of best sort of position. Not going to be where, you know, it usually would want to be. As Road Ravage continues through, and a couple of corrosive bars. Going to land on an Immortal. It's that Immortal count that's the real danger here, right? And there's just a lot of it. He's going to open up the wall off by killing off the gateway. So maybe he can start working through into the natural, just trying to keep the units zoned. Gets a few probes so far. 14 workers have gone down. Super battery drops on the natural. I mean, that's killable for Reynor if he's looking over there, but I believe he's looking elsewhere, because otherwise, okay, he files it now, but I don't know why you would not right-click down that battery by now. You know, his Ravages were right on top of it. That's a battery that shouldn't have healed a single thing. That Immortal should be dead, and that's a big mistake for Reynor. He kills a lot of workers, but his own worker count was not exactly brilliant to begin with. And hence, here we are. Here we stand. In not so pretty of a position. All said and done for Reynor. I'm not sure I really like it all that much. I actually don't think I like it at all for him. And now Trap's going to have a good amount of Immortals. He can set up a counterattack here as well. And I actually do not know what you do from here as Reynor to get kind of back into this. I think this is just probably going to be Trap's counterattack to potentially win the game. He's going to start hedging onto creep right now, and we'll see just how well he can do as we move on forward there. And these Lings are going to sneak by through the natural and toward the main base, so they're able to start sneaking on in. A couple of Queens at the front going to start getting shot at as well, so they're going to get taken down. I mean, one thing Reynor has done well is continue to get rid of the probe count, right? So he's continuing to work his way through probes, and right now he has still got an army that's apparently enough to scare Trap out of here, so Trap will get scared away. I'm trying to get something done on the counter-attack. Some Lings down the bottom side, but they won't find much either. We do see the Spire now coming up on the side of Reynor. So just getting that Spire up and rolling here. I'm just going to be seeing our Adepts into position and able to clean out these Zerglings. I mean, there's a fourth base from Reynor. He's starting to drone up. I kind of like the Spire. If you can get enough up to make it work, has to cancel, try to rebuild this hatchery. The Immortal drop is able to do well there and is able to clean up a little bit. So that's a nice little something. Definitely a nice bonus, if nothing else. Lings are going to try and find their way into this mineral line again. Again, the counterattacks of Reynor have been deadly, repeatedly taking down multiple probes. Continuing to do a very good job of that overall. Spire coming back up on the natural expansion. Lings taking a bit of damage and just seeing them escaping away up that left-hand side one more time here. Models in the main base. I mean, again, this Prism's just been flying around crazy. That's going to end right now because the mutas are coming out. I tell you what, Reynor is up against Colossus. He can actually make Corruptors and just deal with those Colossi easily. The good news for Trap is if he realizes that, he might just cancel up the Colossi completely after one, and he could just go straight into Disruptors instead. And then Disruptors are still going to be very good against the ground army, so he's still in a good position in that regard. Definitely a possibility as we continue through for the moment. Hallucination continues up the map. Two Colossi coming in at once. Where are the Mutalisks? When are they going to appear for the first time? Trap turns some Lings around in the center. That Hallucination going to come through the natural. Sees the Spire. So now you know about the Spire. Like I said, the Mutas are already made. The question is, does Reynor actually just change up what he's doing and build Corruptors once he sees what's going on himself? It's definitely a possibility. There's a couple of probes going down. Stalker's here to start dealing some damage to the Mutalisks. 11 probes dying. Now we jump into the third base. Obviously, just again, if you don't have anti-muta defense set up already, this can be pretty tough to deal with. There's not even like a ton of mutalisks per se. 17 workers dead already, and now they're back into the natural. The thing is, there's no Phoenix, there's not, okay, there is Blink on the Stalkers, that's why I was wondering that I didn't quite note in my head just yet, but there is Blink on the Stalkers at least, but his Stalker count just wasn't very high. Meters need to stay stacked up there, and you can see the income difference as Reynor just takes a big fight for himself once more here. I mean, it's crazy because it's been a game of just denying economy through and through. You know, repeatedly we've just seen this situation where players are just having to consistently, take hits at their opponent's economy and just do that repeatedly. Gonna get a couple more probes on this fourth base as those mirrors get chased away by nothing more but sentry fire, so still not exactly ideal, right? Just sentries pushing them back in that army. I guess the Stalkers are all spread out across the other bases, of course, at this stage, which makes sense. As you can see, Reynor maintaining a pretty significant income advantage on the back end of this, so able to maintain that is a pretty big deal, I would say. I'd say that's pretty important and definitely a factor as we get 7 more pros. The mutas, yeah, starting to run down on numbers, starting to be dealt with, but they've absolutely done their job, right? They've done more than enough damage, and Reynor is now making 36 banelings. Well, as he maxes out, he's pretty much looking to take a fight almost straight away. There's almost no reason for him to delay, right? Because the longer he waits, the more tech that gets up from the Protoss players. So Reynor, in theory, should just go, go, go. Ravage is going to try and slow down this army in the center by dropping some biles. I mean, Trap, he's trying to rebuild pros, but of course he's just been losing so many. Feels like he's constantly losing more, and these mutas are really just doing a fantastic job. I cannot stress enough just how well these mutas are being controlled. They're really being handled wonderfully by Reynor. He's kept them alive for so long. You know, he never made more mutas either. He made 11 or so, and that was it. And he's just stuck with them, and he's been able to do so much with them. You know, diving in here, try and get a sentry. Now the Stalker's blinking forward. This probably is starting to be the end of the use of the mutas, I want to say. Well, hopefully just for Trap's sake, because Trap does have good observer positioning here, is able to see exactly what's going on, and where Reynor might be moving to. So that's also, I'm sure, going to be something of a factor. There you go, big fight breaks out. Bane's coming in from either side. The Ravagers wanting to move forward here as well. The Banes come crashing through. The Colossus gets saved though, and these Banelings just do not do enough. Bling Roach now on the way up from Reynor, so getting that going. The mutas are back. Oh god, did I say the mutas were done? No, I shouldn't have done, should I? 8 probes going down. I guess the mutas not really high enough number where you should need them in this fight. I don't think they would make that much of a difference. Oh my goodness, they are actually just murdering pros, man. 18 workers going down. Trap, why is our muta why? I mean, I can't believe you didn't adjust the cannon to just be a little bit further back there, right? That's also a little bit crazy to me, if you ask me. 97 dead probes in the game, 98. Well, Trap's army is across the map. Reynor is maxed out. He's going to have another attempt to bust this down. The problem is this army is very tech-heavy, you know. There's a lot of Archons, Immortals, Colossi, and the filler units are Stalkers, so it's a very expensive army. There's a couple of Adepts in here that are getting crashed into at the moment. Can Reynor take it down? Because it is not a guarantee. This is not something that is necessarily super easy to, to kill, quite frankly. I know it's a lot less army supply from Trap, but I think the problem is that Reynor's been able to rebuild a couple times now. He's been able to go again. And now, of course, he's got a massive concave on creep as well. And that's only going to help as these Colossi are doing what they can. I really wonder about the Colossi. If he has Disruptors, I do almost feel so much better for you as Trap in that situation. If you're playing against Disruptors, right? Or you're playing with Disruptors, Reynor's going to have this. He chases the Colossi down. Micro attempts on the prison, but it just will not be enough. GG is called, and Reynor is going to take it. And he is going to get to a 2-0 lead for Team World, guys. Team World are here, and they are meaning business. Reynor's just going to stretch it out on camera. Nice start to the day, getting a 2-0 lead for your team. Looking to help lead them to victory. And that, my friends, is going to be our first match of WTL versus the World. Trap and Reynor go 2-0 to Reynor. And with that, I'm just going to be